Hello, Willow Creek fourth graders. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I know you've been doing a lot of hard work on the computer mainly. It's pretty tough on your body. It can be really tough on your eyes. So we're going to talk a little bit today about how to set up your workstation safely, how to work on the computer safely, comfortably, so you can get all your work done and be happy and productive and healthy. So here we have a standard setup, and we're seeing some pretty bad postures that can put a lot of stress on your body. So a lot of the tables are too tall for us, even as adults, but it's definitely for children because they're not really designed for children or designed for computers. So that being so high, she has to sit up high and doesn't have a lot of foot support, so she tends to lean forward without a whole lot of back support. So you tend to get a lot of stress in your neck, upper back, and lower back without any support. Also, when you're leaning over and leaning on your arms, you're getting stress here that travels up into your neck, causing a lot of strain here in your neck and upper back. So what we want to do is take a little bit of time, use a few props, maybe some cushions, some pillows, maybe a yoga mat or something to get this set up correctly so we can work safely, effectively, happy, and be productive. Okay, so now we know what bad posture looks like. Now we want to make things a little bit better. So let's take a little break. I want you to go around your house and I want you to find some things. So maybe a few cushions, some pillows, maybe a rolled up yoga mat, maybe a 3-ring binder, maybe a little thicker, maybe a box, just a few things around the house. All right, so let's take a few minutes, have some fun, little scavenger hunt, grab some stuff. All right, so now that we have our things and we know what bad posture is, we're gonna try to make things a little bit better. Okay, so first I wanna take a little break, think about our own posture, what we call postural awareness, okay? So unfortunately, what the computer does, it kind of sometimes puts us into poor postures, all right? Our eyes kind of gravitate towards the screen, so it really puts our head forward, makes our shoulders round, puts us in a bad posture. So what we want to do is we want to have good posture. And so what that looks like is usually our shoulder blades are touching the chair, we have good full back support, our thighs are supported, and our feet are well supported. Our ears are over our shoulders or over our elbows, and we're looking straight forward, so everything's in balance. Our head is balanced over our shoulders, and we're in a nice, safe, comfortable posture, and that's what we want to try to get. Of course, we're going to need those items we just got, so we're going to use those and put them to work and try to make this station very, very comfortable. What I also suggest is always having one primary workstation where you do most of your work. So in the big picture, it's always good to keep moving. Humans are not meant to sit for long periods of time. So we always want to try to keep moving as much as we can. So we do want one primary station where we have all of our work tools. We're doing most of our seated work here, most of our study work, most of our writing, most of our intensive work on the computer. So we have all of our tools here, sharpeners, pencils, erasers, everything we need is here. So this is our primary workstation. We definitely want to have one primary workstation in the house. Okay, so now we have our things. We're gonna grab a yoga mat here. I'm gonna start off with foot support. So humans really like to have good foot support so their body is stable. So we're gonna put our feet on there. So a yoga mat will work here, a 3-ring binder, a little box, anything to give the feet flat support. And some people like a little bit of roll. Move your feet a little bit in there. A little bit of roll, that gets some blood flowing back up to the heart and keeps the body working really, really well. Okay, so now that we have good foot support, we're going to lean back here, and what we're noticing at this position here is her elbows are much, much lower than the computer and the work surface. So in a perfect world, we want that elbow to be the same height as the keyboard and mouse. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise her up with a pillow. Stand up, please. By putting a pillow under here, maybe 2, but that's going to give you a little bit of height. And to get you a little closer and for a little bit better back support, we're going to put a pillow back here and tuck it in the lower lumbar area of the spine. Okay, so now we want to scooch really close to the workstation and feel like you're leaning back a little bit. All right, so the chair's holding you up. It's really holding you up and your muscles can relax, and now we can do some good work. So I'm gonna put our hands on there as we lean back. So we might even get a little bit closer, right? So you can see how close she is. She's getting very close, so she's not reaching. We're not doing Frankenstein. We're getting in really, really close, and we're nice and relaxed. So our elbows are as close to our sides as we can. If we have a little pressure, a little contact here, that's fine. We just don't want to be putting any pressure into that. We don't want our body weight coming forward. So we always want to feel like we're leaning back and we're nice and relaxed, and our head is up and looking pretty straight. So this position looks pretty good here. What I am worried about are the eyes at this point. Working on the computer in the house with the sunlight can be very, very difficult. So what we want to do is make sure we're using all the blinds and positioning the computer correctly. So what we don't want is this. We do not want a window right behind where we're facing, because we have a bright and not as bright, and we have a lot of transition going on here. So what we want to do is use blinds to block these out. So we always want to use blinds behind and always want to use blinds in front. So we don't want any light here, we don't want any light here. If there's any light, we want it coming right 90 degrees to the monitor. Okay? How does that feel? Okay, so now that we have a really good setup, right, we're well supported, our feet are well supported, thighs well supported, lower back, upper back, our head's in a pretty good position. There we go. We've got our light correct. We might want to use some task light or external light to make sure you have enough light for your writing tasks. But we definitely don't want any light here or behind us, so any light's coming this way. So now we want to, this is our designated workstation. We're very, very comfortable here, right? After about 20 minutes or so, what I always like to tell people, listen to your body. You'll know. You'll be working in a good position, then your body will start to break down. You'll start to lean on things. You'll start to feel a little antsy. You'll want to move. Then your body's telling you, move. So why don't we move? Let's stand up. Stand up. And take a little posture break, a little movement break. So, what we want to do is stand up, do a little shoulder roll. All right, a little shoulder roll, get the arms going, shake them out a little bit. So any kind of movement's good. You know, I always say joint rotations are good. Rolling the joints around, little shoulders. All right, little neck, just nice and easy. And a few really good stretches to do throughout the day is where they do a reverse stretch. So one is, you're always leaning forward, right? So we want to reverse that. So we're going to squeeze between our shoulder blades, pull our head back, really squeeze between those shoulder blades and try to bring them down your back a little bit. And so you're really opening up your chest, squeezing those neck muscles, reversing that posture we've been in for a little bit of time. The other thing we can do throughout the day, since we're typing a lot more now, which is really good for you guys, keep on typing, right? And also what you want to do is make sure you can do some touch typing sometimes, okay? So there's some programs out there where you can learn. It's kind of like playing a video game. You kind of watch there and you kind of touch type. Really, really important, because when you keep looking down to type all the years, it's going to start affecting your neck. So becoming a touch typist is really, really important. Something to work on. I know it's difficult, but we're taking things in stages, okay? So now that we're in a good position, we're stretched out a little bit, okay? The other thing we can do, since our hands are working, is stretch out these forearm muscles. So with our elbows straight, we're gonna gently pull back on our fingers. So we're stretching out right underneath here, the underside of our forearm, and then we're gonna hold that for about 20 seconds and then reverse it. So we're gonna pull on our knuckles a little bit. So we're stretching top part of our forearm, and these are the muscles that really get impacted when we're mousing, using the mouse, using the keyboard. So let's do both arms. Again, elbow straight, gentle pull on the fingers. You're feeling a nice stretch in here. And for all stretches, you want to hold it for about 15-20 seconds or so. Give that muscle time to relax. Stretch out, change the direction. Getting the top part here. Now our forearms are nice and loose, we're nice and relaxed, we're ready to do some work. Okay, so let's do a standing posture check now. Let's see our posture expert in there. Stand up. All right, so we got our stretch break in, our body's ready to go. We also have to think about our eyes. So just that, like the body, 20 minutes for the eyes. So after about 20 minutes or so, we want to give our eyes a break. Looking at something two-dimensional for long periods of times makes the eyes dry out, puts a lot of stress on the eye muscles. So we want to take a break. So we want to look away and look at something at least 20 feet away. So it's called the 20-20-20 rule. So every 20 minutes, you take a 20-second break and you look at something 20 feet away. So we want to change that focal length of the eyes so the eyes get lubricated and they keep moving. Okay, so we got the eye break, we got a posture break. Now we want to stand, okay? So when we stand, what we're doing, we're putting a lot more gravitational forces on our legs. So that's going to change our metabolic pathway and get us going into a whole different direction. So now what we want to do is change our position by moving to a different area in the house that incorporates a standing position. Now we don't want to do this for a long period of time, but a little short period of time. So if you're like our house, we don't like to use shoes, so we're going to move over here and use this yoga mat for some foot support, like an anti-fatigue mat. Right, so now that we have our sitting station perfect, we want to work on our standing station. Okay, so remember, 20 minutes. All right, after about 20 minutes, you feel a little wiggly, let's change positions, let's stand up. Okay, but when we're standing, just like when we're sitting, we want to have good posture. We want to have good postural awareness. You want to think about it a little bit. Okay, so as I said before, the computer kind of puts you in bad postures. Your eyes kind of go forward. You tend to lean forward. What we want to do is raise on up. So we're going to move away from here, and we're just going to do a little postural check for a second, okay? So we're going to move away from the computer, and we're just going to check our posture, okay? So for a standing posture check, we're going to look straight forward. We're going to raise our shoulders up to our ears, rotate them back, and drop them a little bit, okay? So we have a little tension between our shoulder blades. And again, we're looking straight forward, so our head is balanced over our shoulders, okay? Now in this position, we also want a little bit of tension here in our abs so that we're very, very balanced, okay? Perfect. Now at this position, we're not wearing any shoes, so we want to have something on the floor to give you a little bit of support, to soften it up a little bit. Standing without shoes for long periods of time can cause issues. So what we're going to do is just use that handy yoga mat like we did before. Man's going to come on up. Get into a good standing posture. Now we can see going to a countertop is a really, really good height for a lot of us. Everyone has a different height. Again, it's that elbow to ground height we're looking for. But this counter at 36 inches works pretty well for a lot of us. So you can see here, elbows are by the body, wrists are straight, very, very balanced in the head. That's a really good position. What we also want to think about is moving our feet from time to time. You don't want to get stuck in one position. So let's try putting one foot in front of the other, having a little staggered stance, and that takes a little bit of pressure off the lower back here, okay? And then you want to switch that up. So put the right in front of the left or the left in front of the right. So switch that up a little bit. Change your feet position. There we go. So change that often. Now we're going to get into a pro tip, big pro tip. Let's move away a little bit. So you may have a little space here, okay? Come on in. Now what we're doing here, we're getting the leg up. You can't really see it, but she's putting her foot up. And that also takes a little pressure off the lower back. Okay, so you got a few tips and tricks here to take some pressure off our lower back, get into a good standing position so we're nice and balanced and we're ready to do work. And again, we got to think about the latest research out there, okay? For every half-hour period, we're sitting for 20 minutes, we're standing and working for 8 minutes, and we're moving around for 2 minutes. So we're at that moving part now, okay? So we're gonna move around for 2 minutes. So for every half hour, we got to sit for 20, stand for 8, and move for 2. So we wanna do some movement now, so let's move around. How about some jumping jacks, huh? Let's go, jumping jacks, come on. Let's go, jumping jacks, let's go.
Okay, students, now it's your turn to make your workspace safer and healthier for your body. I want you to adjust what your seating looks like. I want to see where your feet are going to be resting on, and I want someone to take a picture of you sitting in that area, showing how your neck is aligned over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips, your elbows will be at a 90-degree angle, and how your workspace is going to be healthier and more supportive for you. Okay, so send that picture in as a part of your assignment today. Bye.